I hope you've watched my first two videos where I spoke about the all important lining of all of our arteries called the glycocalyx. But who should care? Who should worry? Who should be treated? Well, first, there is not a perfect test where you can test the health of the lining of our arteries, but there's a lot of clues. I'm going to use the word glycocalyx and arteries interchangeably here. So, if you have high blood pressure, you probably have damage to your arteries. If you've had a blood clot, you've had damage to your arteries. If you have blood sugar, insulin, diabetes issues, you probably have damage to your arteries. If you have gout or high uric acid, you probably have damage to your arteries. If you have high cholesterol, you want to make sure you don't have damage to your arteries because otherwise you can build up cholesterol and plaque in those arteries. If you have fancy abnormal cholesterol tests that show inflammation in the arteries, like the plaque 2 enzyme or myeloperoxidase, you have damage to your arteries. If you have autoimmune issues, might have damage to your arteries. If you have high inflammatory markers in your blood, like C reactive protein, you may have damage to your arteries. If you've lived long enough in this toxic, stressful world, you likely have damage to your arteries. And what can you do? So there's well-studied seaweed extracts, my favorite of which is called Arteries, that you can take for a few months with a nitric oxide supplement. Super beets would probably suffice, but my favorite one is called Vascanox. And you can heal the lining of your arteries. Then are you done? Well, it depends how many of these risk factors and issues I just talked about. You may want to repeat it in the future. But you can heal the lining of your arteries with a few months of a couple supplements. How cool is that? Research shows that clicking the thumbs up and subscribe button will make fingers healthy and strong, and besides, it's free.